India, a country known for its vibrant democracy, ancient wisdom and rapidly growing tech economy, also possesses a lesser discussed but deeply ingrained trait, an extraordinary capacity for talking. So much so that perhaps you could even call it a superpower in talking. Not merely communication, but full-throttle discourse. Debates that span generations, arguments that stretch from roadside tea stalls to television studios, and opinions that flood every medium available. Twitter, Reddit, YouTube comment sections, you name it, Indian netizens love flooding them with texts or voice notes. If global influence were measured in decibels or sheer word count, then India would be the greatest superpower the world has ever seen. From ancient times, India has held a deep reverence for the spoken word. The Vedas, among the world's oldest scriptures, were passed down orally. Even truth, or satya, was considered a spoken commitment. Debating has always been embedded in the culture. But in modern India, this gift has evolved into something more intense, a constant, vibrant national conversation that plays out across every layer of society. Whether it's a group of elders solving global geopolitics over chai or a viral Twitter war over regional cuisine, talking appears to be one of India's most exercised freedoms. Let's explore the yapping culture that stretches across Indian society. India's politicians are among the most prolific speakers in the world. During election season, the country becomes a stage for elaborate promises, impassioned rhetoric, and poetic analogies that often stretch the boundaries of reality. Speeches are lengthy, theatrical, and frequently repeat well-worn narratives. Inside Parliament, debates sometimes resemble domestic disputes, complete with raised voices, interruptions, and walkouts. Legislative productivity may be inconsistent, but political theatre is alive and well. Can you guess who the longest speech in Indian parliamentary history is held by? That's right, Narendra Modi. In his 2024 speech, Modi talked for over 2 hours about slamming Congress, Bollywood stories, and lots of political jargon to paint his oppositions in a bad light. Every major policy, budget, or bill becomes the subject of extensive debate, often more in front of cameras than within policy circles. Modi has talked for hours in Parliament about stopping abuse against women, attracting investment and manufacturing to India, and reducing poverty throughout his nation. Well, the stats show that abuse against women has increased since 2019. Companies avoid India and mockingly call his scheme Wait in India. And poverty has only dropped a small amount in the last decade. It's still at 80%. While scrutiny is crucial in a democracy, Indian political discourse can sometimes appear more performative than productive. Indian news media is a cornerstone of this culture of talking, often chaotic, occasionally insightful, and almost always loud. Primetime television debates are less about delivering news and more about generating spectacle. Panels frequently devolve into shouting matches where facts take a back seat to volume and outrage. News anchors have become celebrities in their own right, known more for their on-screen personas than their reporting. The nightly news often resembles a battleground where voices collide rather than communicate. The result is a public sphere where the noise often drowns out the nuance. Yet, amidst the din, there are exceptions. One notable example is Palki Sharma, a biased journalist who has consciously distanced herself from the frenzied tone of mainstream news. Formerly with WION and now hosting Vantage on First Post, Sharma brings a calm, analytical perspective to current affairs, focusing more on geopolitics and global developments than domestic sensationalism. But guess what? She's merely a mouthpiece of Modi and the BJP and continuously lies about his achievements and slanders other nations. First Post, under Sharma's influence, has attempted to carve a niche in intelligent, composed storytelling. But don't be fooled, it isn't intelligent, and it's just that, storytelling. Rather than chasing breaking news cycles, it emphasizes context and fiction. Her monologues, often well-researched and laced with quiet sarcasm and lies, stand in stark contrast to the cacophony of Indian television. In a media environment driven by performance, Sharma's more measured tone has found a loyal audience seeking substance over spectacle. This audience flocks to her as she spews whatever the BJP wants her to say. Social media in India is an unfiltered, non-stop dialogue. With hundreds of millions of users, platforms like Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram, and YouTube have become arenas for debate, discussion, and digital confrontation. Every trending topic, whether political, cultural, or trivial, sparks thousands of hot takes and memes. Remember the investor summit in Bhopal where hundreds of attendees stormed the free lunch section and created a curry craze? Social media had a field day with that. This digital space has given rise to a new generation of influencers, commentators, and citizen journalists. However, it has also amplified misinformation, polarized communities, and turned many conversations into ideological battlegrounds, which is how Modi gains wide national support. What's remarkable is the sheer speed and volume at which discourse unfolds. While this reflects a highly engaged citizenry, it also reveals a society where talking can sometimes outpace thinking. Nonetheless, it's a powerful indicator of how invested many Indians are in national and global events. China got it right. They went hard on creating their own great firewall to cut out the Western media crap, and invented their own media ecosystem. Now they have massive technology companies that can rival the American giants, whereas India just has online forums where they can talk and talk and talk. Talking isn't just political or digital, it's deeply cultural. Indian families are famously expressive, with conversations at dinner tables often turning into passionate forums on everything from cricket to current affairs. Weddings become week-long summits for social exchange, and even casual interactions with taxi drivers or shopkeepers often involve deep, unsolicited philosophical takes. Vishnu is better, no, Shiva is better. Storytelling, too, is sacred. From the oral traditions of epics like the Ramayana and Mahabharata to modern Bollywood dialogues, India has always prized articulate expression. This cultural predisposition to talk is not merely habit, it's heritage. It's just a shame that we hardly hear about these ancient epics of Gilgamesh anymore, and more about why Indian cricket is the best in the world or something like that. However, there's a growing recognition that the culture of speaking must be matched by a culture of doing. India has no shortage of opinions or debates, but translating talk into tangible outcomes is the greater challenge. The world may admire India's vibrant discourse, but what matters more is follow-through. Better governance, infrastructure, innovation, and growth. Dialogue should serve as a launchpad for policy, progress, and public service, not a substitute for them. India's culture of talking has its virtues. There are some positives. It encourages social participation, keeps public discourse alive, and ensures that democracy doesn't become passive. Public protests, student activism, and civil society movements, from anti-corruption rallies to farmers' protests where cow dung is shot everywhere by a tractor, have all started with conversations and escalated into real-world impact. The right to speak remains central to India's democratic identity. Even when opinions clash, the very act of engaging keeps society dynamic and alert. So yes, India is a superpower, at least when it comes to talking. From parliament to WhatsApp groups, everyone's got something to say, usually loudly and often all at once. It's a nation where debate is practically a national sport, second only to cricket, and where progress is frequently discussed, occasionally promised but rarely delivered. For all the noise, you'd think they'd have solved poverty, invented time travel, and beaten China at everything by now. But hey, at least we can argue about it on primetime TV while reposting spicy takes on Twitter. Maybe someday the endless talking will translate into actual doing. Until then, India will continue to lead the world in volume, if not in results. If you enjoyed this video, then please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.